Back, sports fans. In this segment, I'm going to be discussing the key injuries for both the Lions as well as the Bears. The Bears are pretty much healthy. They do have one player, and that's Robert Quinn, who's listed as doubtful for tomorrow. Khalil Mack and Cordarrelle Patterson are also on the injury report as questionable. However, I would say if Khalil Mack can walk, he certainly will play, and it's hard to envision Cordarrelle Patterson as not going to be able to play unless he's banged up more than I'm thinking. That I would expect that Khalil Mack will definitely play and Cordarrelle Patterson certainly will play. For the Lions, they have a few more injuries, and I think as Lions fans, we're pretty much used to this by now, but considering they haven't even played an exhibition game, this is somewhat of a lengthy list, of which I just gathered a few names from it. Tackle Halapoulivaati is out for tomorrow's game. He's got a foot injury. CJ Moore is also out, and tight end Hunter Bryant will not play tomorrow as well. Kenny Golladay and Danny Amendola are listed as questionable, and considering that Kenny Golladay has a pretty serious hamstring injury, if he does play, he's going to be quite limited, and I think Danny Amendola definitely will play. Da'Shawn Hand and Jeff Okudah would be the other one. Jeff Okudah has a somewhat severe, although I don't know what the severity of it is, hamstring injury as well. And Da'Shawn Hand is somewhat banged up. However, he has been off and on throughout his Lions career, short Lions career at that. So, without the Lions having Mr. Vaitai, it's going to be harder for the Lions to run the ball. I don't think it's going to make it impossible, but it's certainly a blow since he was brought on to replace Rick Wagner, and of course we know Rick Wagner had his share of injuries as well. In terms of Hunter Bryant not being able to play, the Lions do have TJ Hockenson, who's coming off of a very serious knee injury. They also have Jesse James to block as well as catch the football, so I think they're going to be okay in that regard. But again, Kenny Golladay led the team in touchdown receptions last year with 11. He also had over 1,100 yards receiving, so that's a big blow if he's not able to play more than, let's say, 20 plays. And that might be very optimistic. I mean, I don't know the severity of his injury other than what I've read about it, but it doesn't sound good. And like I said, Danny Amendola might also be hampered a bit. So I think based on that, it's going to be up to some of the other Lions receivers for week one to step up a bit, which is asking an awful lot. And especially when you throw in Matt Stafford's back situation, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the Lions' offense. But if they're able to keep Khalil Mack blocked and keep him from being the disruptive force that we all know he can be, I think the Lions' offense will be, for the most part, smooth. In the next segment, I will discuss an interesting thing I read a few days ago about what's going to happen at Ford Field tomorrow during the game. Stay tuned to Detroit Lions tomorrow on Ed's Sports Channel.